There we go. Perfect. Hey, how are you? This is James speaking. Welcome to another, it's another live webcast. It's Wednesday at 1. It's open season, open questions. Just want to make sure we're live here. It looks like we are. I always double check on the audio now after I did a whole session and not have the audio working. So just double check everything is fine there. So if there are any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. If we do have a good one, I'll actually leave this one up. If not, the recording of this will be on trainingsites.io, where we have tons of great material about everything having to do with building membership sites, teaching online, creating tutorials, building your own membership site or campus. All of that great stuff is there as well. And as I do these, the reason that I do these, even though you may wonder why would he even bother doing these, is because I test out a lot of things that we're using with clients, and we kind of use this as a test bed for trying some different things. As an example, I have a new microphone today. You'll see that there's, wrong side, there we go. There you go. That side. If you see, we've got a lapel mic. Usually I have a really great mic that I like, a Yeti mic, which is great, except it was very, very large in front of me, covered part of the keyboards. It was just a little bit cumbersome, so I'm trying a lapel mic that will work through and see what's happening there. And part of the reason we do this is if you take a look at it, a couple of the recordings that we did for testing, it ended up that there was a lag with this lapel mic and what's happening with the video. So that's what we're trying to find out as well, doing these live webcasts just to see what happens. The other thing, just to give an example of a test, is if you see what happens here, we've got a zoom in and a zoom out. And this is done automatically by the Insta360 webcam that we're using, which is a really neat piece of tech, but want to check out, see how it works, how it doesn't work. You'll notice that it's in portrait mode today. And what that means is the background is blurred out. Really, really, really helps. This is actually my office. It's a real office. It's not a fake background. It's me. So playing around with lighting, playing around with the video, playing around with the tech. And the reason we do that, of course, is that we want to spend time and learn from our testing and be able to use that and implement with clients who are interested in building training and membership sites. So if you haven't been to one of these before, they are pretty ad hoc. It's no set agenda. I'm here to answer some questions if there are any. And I always look off to the side here and see if there are any particular questions or comments that come up. And if not, that's cool too. And we'll kind of move forward with that. I'm going to, I think what I want to do today is I want to spend a little bit of time talking about this whole idea of membership sites and selling online courses and what's happening in the industry, but more importantly for content creators and people who are wanting to create online courses. And it's kind of interesting because personally I run into a large number of people who are really excited and passionate about something, and they often give it away for free when they could be earning money with it. Now, I'm not talking about the fact that you have to earn money with something just because you're an expert in it, but if that is an option that you want to, there's a huge opportunity to do that if you can structure a business out of your information as opposed to treating it as something you want to give away just because you like giving it away and doing the work and sharing it. So having that business model or something as a content creator that you want to focus on, that's kind of a neat approach, or something that has to be answered before we do any of these membership sites, because we have some people who just want to build one for fun. They just like having a website and they want to give away their content just because they enjoy doing it. And then we have other people who lock stuff down completely tight. You don't get access to anything until you pay money for it. And there's everywhere in between. And I think the thing that is of interest to me personally is that when you have some expertise, there is even if you don't have expertise, but if you're passionate about something and you want to talk about it and teach people about what it is that you know and you do, that can be really, really exciting and fulfilling. And being comfortable enough to get in front of the camera like this, or at least talk into the camera and have your voice heard, is very, very, very scary. And even though we have people who are very competent, or I have clients who are really, really competent when they're talking to someone else one-on-one, they get very uncomfortable in front of the camera. So this whole idea of virtual teaching and virtual selling and transfer of information virtually can be quite scary for people. And it is a skill that has to be learned. And having the tools and the processes in place to do that makes things a lot easier. Having us do the trial and error is a good tip. And again, it's just something to think about. If you are interested in something, don't be afraid to share it with people. And you can share it on YouTube, you can share it anywhere that you want in particular, but just understand that if you are going to share it, you have to think about how do you want to share it. Whether that is something that's paid or not paid, or it's something you're actually teaching something for a specific outcome, or you're just creating content and capturing it. That's, again, up to you, and it should be kind of thought through as you're working with this. Okay? Now, I'm looking at the screen. I'm just looking at the screen, and you can see that there's focus is a little bit slow or a little bit delayed. So that's something we'll take a look at. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep that. I'm not even sure if I can actually change it now. So let me just see if I can change it. Let me see if I can turn that off and see if it actually happens. Gestures, auto tracking. I got some cool tools here. Let me let me do this. I'm going to share my screen right now. We'll share my screen, and let me try this one here. I'm just over in Ecamm Live, which is another tool that we use, and let's see if we can get Chrome and Face. There we go. Okay. So if you see on this one here right now, you can see that this is actually the webcam interface. And on the right-hand side here, you're going to see that I have a number of tools available. And I have gimbal control, which is the position. This webcam is actually up on a gimbal. And what a gimbal is a three-dimensional pivot. So I can pivot to the left, to the right, to the up, and to the down. And where else can I go? Those are the two ones, my 3 dimensions, because the camera can go up and down on the pivot. I've got image settings, which hopefully you can see here. So I've got auto exposure. I personally have lots of trouble with lighting just because of the way my skin is. So I'm using auto exposure. Auto white balance, I can adjust the brightness and stuff here. That's the image settings, but this is the one that's interesting for people who are doing webcams and live stuff like that. And what is it? Well, I have the auto zoom, which keeps it, in this case, on my head, or a half body, or a whole body if you're standing in front of a camera. I've also got the auto focus here, so that allows me to really keep track of what's going on in terms of the focus. So if I move forwards and backwards, it's going to stay focused on my face and adjust the focus automatically. I could have it at manual. I've got streamer mode, which is something that is set up specifically for doing streaming, and also in portrait mode as opposed to having it in landscape. Mirror image, kind of neat. The other one that I wanted to kind of show you is the tracking speed here. So this one's kind of neat because right now it's set to slow. So if I move out, it takes a second to actually catch up with me. If I move in, it takes a second to catch up with me. So if I want to change that and adjust it and have it fast, watch what happens. So we'll get a chance to, and if I go out, and it's going faster. Okay, so it'll move back and forth with me. I'm just going to put it to normal. Let's see what happens on normal. And there we go. Link will track, auto enable, enable auto. Link will start tracking when you manually adjust the gimbal towards someone. Right now it's focused on me explicitly. So if I wanted to, and I wanted the camera to stay focused on someone else, I can actually manually adjust the camera, the webcam on top of it, and have that turn so that it stays focused on that one particular person. Other neat things that we're doing with the camera here, just for being in front of the camera, is you'll see that I do have some hand codes that I can use. This one is for the zoom, so I can zoom in and zoom out. I have auto tracking to turn it on or off, and then a whiteboard. The other thing that I really like, which is cool, we got some, we did an update on it, and there's actually some pretty neat tools. So this one's a neat one I just found out about. There we go, got a thumbs up on this one. We've got confetti, we've got fireworks, a couple other things that have been added. So these are just some of the tools that we use to play around with being in front of the camera. But this one I quite like, specifically because it can remove some of the work that I have to do technically when I'm putting all these together. It makes it a lot easier to do it when I'm not having to worry about about what's happening off the screen, getting all of the settings in place. So, playing around with this, got a piece of tech, something you can hand off to the piece of technology that automates stuff, makes it a lot easier as you get used to talking to the camera and just being comfortable looking into a lens or close to a lens that you can be comfortable with and keep talking. A couple neat things actually happen in terms of talking or looking into the lens is, let me just see if I can bring this up. If you haven't heard of Elgato before, let me just do this one. I'm going to show you this one. Elgato is a company that specializes in content creation tools. So it's all stuff about webcams and what turned it on yet? I haven't got it installed. Stream Deck is another one. I don't have the Stream Deck up for me. That's a thing that allows you to switch between inputs. The one that's kind of cool, and let me bring this one up, because they just launched this one yesterday, I think it was. There we go. So they have a teleprompter. This one just came out yesterday, the Elgato teleprompter. And what this does is, while I'm looking into the camera, if I don't want to necessarily be looking directly into the camera, or I need some help in knowing what to say or what to follow, is we actually have a brand new teleprompter from Elgato that makes it really, really easy to look into that camera and have some notes with you to play around with. So let me just open this one up so that you can find out more about it. We'll open that up for you. And you can see there's just a little kind of device that shows up or wraps around your camera. And in this case, down here where I'm moving my mouse, hopefully you can see that, this area is the one where the text shows up. And you get to see what happens on the text. I'm just going to move my mouse over here. There we go. Yeah, so this one has the mouse shows up. Sorry, the text shows up here that you've got put in, and it actually gets displayed in a mirror over top of the lens which you look into. So while you're looking at the lens, you're actually reading from the teleprompter. So this is kind of a neat tool that they just announced yesterday. Oh, pre-order, they don't even have it. Pre-order just came out. So this is kind of cool and allows people who aren't comfortable just going ad hoc like I am in this particular case. It just allows you to work through those in a quicker fashion and gives you the real opportunity to make sure that you have a track to run on or something to follow along on when you're creating your content. And again, the content doesn't have to be training material. Even though my site is called Training Sites, we specialize in training and membership sites. Being a content creator doesn't always mean that it has to be a tutorial. There's all sorts of different things that you can talk about. specifically things that relate to what you're doing in your business, and really sharing a little bit more about what happens in your business, not necessarily how to do something. So the only videos that you create, whether they be case studies or behind the scenes or comparisons, it's not always, for a training site, it's not always about how to do something. So getting comfortable in front of the camera, making sure that you have some technology around that you're comfortable with. And if you're by yourself, minimizes the amount of technical work that you have to do. These are all things to pay attention to and practice with. And that's why we practice with them here. Just seeing what works, what doesn't, what's easy, what we can recommend, things that have worked in the past or not worked in the past. And it can be really hard. I'm not going to try and sugarcoat this for you. Keeping up with all of the different options can be incredibly difficult. And I'll give you a quick example of when it comes to technologies for a training site, how this can be a problem. So one of the tools we use is called ActiveCampaign, and that is a CRM, customer relationship management software, that also does automated email marketing. So it's a two-in-one kind of solution. So we have what's called a white label version of ActiveCampaign. So we actually sell ActiveCampaign and manage ActiveCampaign accounts for our clients. And it's a really, really great tool. The thing about it is it's super flexible, gives lots of opportunities for integration and working with other pieces of software. There's a lot of times when it's the best solution for a particular business. On the other hand, if you are just starting out, or you don't necessarily need a CRM, or you're in a position where you don't really do a lot of automations, maybe you just have a newsletter, it might be too much. So if you look at that and you go, well, what are my other choices if I'm not going to use ActiveCampaign? There's a ton of choices available to you, and everyone that comes out seems to have something unique about it. The other one that we work a lot with is called Fluent CRM, which is similar to ActiveCampaign in that it does complete automations. And what an email automation is about on these training sites is being able to keep track and send messages or automated messages, one-on-one personalized messages to the clients or students or visitors based on what they actually do on the site. So for example, if someone is on a newsletter subscriber and they visit the site or they click a link on the site, you have the opportunity to market to them or update them or message them with an ActiveCampaign or a Fluent CRM as an example, and create a customized path or learning path or marketing path directly on the site with these tools. So both of them do automations, but the CRM portion on ActiveCampaign is far more complete than the one on Fluent CRM. Fluent CRM is installed on a single WordPress site. ActiveCampaign is a software as a service, so it's hosted in the cloud or hosted off of your website in two different approaches. So if you want to go and do something on your WordPress website and find out what's happening to your clients on your WordPress website, send them email from your WordPress website, Fluent works really well there. On the other hand, if you have 2 or 3 businesses or 2 or 3 brands or 2 or 3 websites, Fluent doesn't work that well because it means you've got to have Fluent on one or multiple sites managing multiple brands. And you have to it's possible, but there's a lot of work doing it, and it's not easy to set up or elegant to set up where it is with ActiveCampaign. So having said that, those are just 2 choices in hundreds of choices. And it seems that every week something different comes out, and it can be overwhelming. Really, really overwhelming when you're trying to put all of these pieces together of technology in and around your membership site, your training site. So these are the things that we look at, the technology, the stack of tools, and kind of trying to help you get clear on what it is specifically that you're doing that can really help you out and make it easy for you to remove yourself from the technology of it and just do the part of creating the content and sharing your expertise in a way that's easily consumable to the people that are visiting. So that's the part that's exciting. Options, too many options, finding clarity, removing yourself from technology, all things you have to think about when you're playing around with an education business. So I'm just, if you're watching these after the fact, it's trainingsites.io is where you'll find all this great information. And I hope that you, whatever you end up doing, that you think about how you want to set up a business, sharing what it is that you know and do, what tools that you need to be able to do that elegantly, that are simple and easy for you to use and most effective in getting your message across, and having some fun doing it and getting comfortable looking into the camera and playing around with stuff. So these, here's one I've been talking, 21 minutes now, just playing around 20 minutes. And the thing that I'm noticing right now is it's kind of frustrating to me that when I look into the camera, it's zooming around too much. And I don't necessarily like that. So let's go and see. I'm going to go and we'll go and change that and see what happens. So I'm just going to go on my screen. I'm not looking at the camera right now, but I'm going to go and I'm going to go to one of the other settings here. And I'm going to do, let's do tracking settings. Auto zoom, AI zoom. There, it's off. Perfect, there it is, it's off. I turned it off. So you can see what happened there is we actually changed it around so that I don't have the zoom on anymore. If I move away from the camera, it doesn't change like it was before. So it just stays a set zoom position. On this one, it still tracks me. You can see I move around. It still tracks me, but it's not doing the auto zoom, which I think is a little bit better. Kind of neat there. So if you do have any questions, I think there's 1 or 2 people watching right now. If they do have any questions, make sure to put them in the chat. I'll do my best to answer them. When it comes to creating these membership sites and the tools and stuff that we're using, I think what I'll do is I'll actually go over one of the sites, and if you do have a question, make sure to put it in, and I'll do my best to answer it. Let me just open up, what one will we do? I'm just going to open up a site here, just one that makes sense for us to at least look at. And what the tools are that we actually use to create these training and membership sites. And I'm just going to open another one here and then I'll open the screen up. Now this is one of my projects, side projects. This is a membership site, and we'll open this one up and I'm going to show you the different pieces that are involved in it. What are the different sections of the site, what plugins and stuff that we used, and how quickly it is to get them set up. Now, one of the things I will do is I think I do have a course called Campus Mastery, and what that is about is building out these entire campuses. I think what I'll do now is I'm just going to show you the pieces that we have in place here and how this actually works in terms of the pieces or the tools that we're using on a site like this one. So this is again a membership site, a community site. We do have a course on it, but it's not a focus on courses, it's a focus on community. So I'm just going to log in here. Actually, I won't log in, I'll just show you what's happening on the top here. So this is technically a dashboard. This is called, I created a dashboard, and it's basically got some quick ways to go and play around to the site, know where the forums are, see what's happening on the site as an example, carrying in, I better show you the screen to go from there. Actually, let me go back and do that first because I hadn't shown you the screen. Let's do this one. There we go. Okay, so in this one here, you can see that I've got a what I call a dashboard. This is my Pickleball Friends community site. Again, it's not about courses. However, there's a course on here. And in this one, we've got, at the top here, we've got 4 different sections. And those sections are activities, social groups, and forums, 4 kind of quick hits to get started. And then underneath that, below that, we have link to where you left off on the courses. We've got some groups, forums, and an activity feed on this dashboard. Across the top menu, we've got a number of different sections. Specifically, the first one is the dashboard, the homepage. Then we have directly to all of the activities, which is just the live activity feed that's going on. And that one refreshes. And we've got friends for all the different members that there are in the community. You can see that one open up. And we've got groups that are ongoing groups. And then event calendar that's here that collects all the events that are going on in the pickleball community, different clubs, and of course some courses. And in this case, I'm just going to go and sign in here, and you'll take a look and see what the gist is on this one. Do I have it? I'm not sure that I have it in yet. Let's see. And I don't have my password manager, which is, this one is number one password. Yeah, 1Password. Has access to the site, but of course, watch it. If you click it, oh, there we go. Let's try this one and put it in and see if I can get it to go in. There we go. We're in. So the site's going to open up, and you're going to see on the dashboard what we've now got it personalized here. Cross above the dashboard, quick buttons, and then we've got complete my profile. So what have we actually got in here that's allowing us to do this? What are the pieces of building out a membership site, and how long does it take? Well, it can be done in about an hour, to be upfront and straightforward with you. And let me see, I'm going to see if I can get this to show up a little differently in my Ecamm Live software here. We'll do the, I don't want the side display. Let's do the, there we go. We'll do this one here instead. So on this one, if you can move it, I don't know if you see my mouse on this one. This is something we're using as another tool to create these live feeds. This is Ecamm Live, and I don't believe that you actually see my mouse moving on here. That's something I'll have to check and see how we can have that happen for next time. But look in the bottom. Look just what happened right there. On the bottom right-hand corner, you can see that I got a bit of a notification. That's because we gamified the site. And gamification means that you can earn rewards, or you can be notified or given awards, credits, however you want to set it up, earn ranks for doing things specifically on the site. And gamification is a whole other area. We have some courses on that in trainingsites.io. But gamification is a great way to get people excited and working through the courses or through the site, and motivating them to complete tasks and be more engaged. Not only with the site, but with the courses and also the other members. So I just got a little notification there because we have gamified the site. But of this particular site, what are the tools that we've put in place here to actually use that? Now, I've logged in as an administrator. Across the top of the menu, you can see that when I showed you this before, there were some parts that were blank because I wasn't logged in. There was no course area. That see where the X's are, the first serve. There was no course areas. That was blank before when I showed you this and I was not logged in. Also, if you look above that, you'll see the 4 points. You'll see welcome James to your member dashboard. That wasn't there because I wasn't logged in. And there was that complete your profile, which tells me I've updated 53% of my personal profile in the community. That wasn't there because I wasn't logged in, but it shows up now as I logged in and started interacting with the site again. So these are some of the pieces that we've got in terms of technology. It does take about an hour to get these installed and activated. What takes time after that is looking at these stack of tools and figuring out how do I best configure them to meet the goals or the outcomes or the business model that you actually have set up for the site. So that's kind of the neat thing, is playing around with that, and getting it installed and set up, again, can be done pretty quickly in less than an hour. configuring it to your business is where all the expertise and the time comes in. So I'll just show you the stack of tools that we have here. I'm logged in as administrator. I'm just going to go to the dashboard and we'll go through some of the plugins, and you can see what we actually installed here to get it set up and to get it working the way that I wanted in this particular case. So I'm going to go to the plugins and we'll take a look at those. I'm just going to go to the admin installed plugins on left hand side. I'm going to the plugins menu, and then from the sub menu I picked installed plugins, and that's going to show me where I am or what tools that I've added. Make sure I've clicked it properly. There we go. What plugins I have set up and what I've actually been doing in terms of the tools that I needed for my community here. I've got the BuddyBoss app, which is BuddyBoss is, again, we put these tools, made them available in the resources section of the trainingsites.io. There's an actual page there with all of these tools in there if you're looking for it, and I'll put the link below in the comments below. So I got the BuddyBoss app, which is sync the community with a native mobile app. This site has a mobile app. I've got the BuddyBoss platform, which is a WordPress specific plugin that gives all of the community features, and we'll look at those shortly. I've got the BuddyBoss Platform Pro, which is the Pro version. So there's actually a free one to get started with. If you want to upgrade, that's the Pro version. I've got a plugin called the Directorist, which creates a directory, in my case, for all of the different pickleball clubs and associations that are around worldwide. I'm using Elementor. So Elementor is a visual page builder. Fluent Forms for all of the forms that we do. I've got the Pro version. Fluent Support, which is a help desk for any of the members that need help. Technical help or billing help, for example. We've got Fluent SMTP, which allows me to send emails from my WordPress site through Amazon Simple Email Service, which has a much higher chance of being delivered than a shared web hosting account or a hosting account there where you have it's designed for hosting websites, not designed to be an email server. So this one we've got set up using Amazon. I've got GamiPress, so for the gamification plugin. I have LearnDash for the courses. I have Rank Math for the SEO optimization. I have the events calendar for all of the events that we were looking at. I do have podcasting set up, but it's not turned on. WooCommerce for our shopping cart. Stripe for taking payments. And WP Fusion is another tool that we use to tie all of these together with other products and services that are available. So these are all the plugins that I've got set up on this site to do a whole community with courses and make it look like a community where you can show the members, you can show an activity feed, you can add discussion forums, you can have groups just like on Facebook. And think of it, the BuddyBoss platform, the free version and the pro version, what they really allow you to do is have your own personal Facebook. The reason I like these is that many times people are building an education business, or they want to provide a community for their customers or the people they're doing business with. And the first inclination is to make it easy and go to Facebook and have your group, a private Facebook group, specifically set up for your customers that are part of maybe a purchase something or you've invited to that private group. My personal gist on this is at some point haven't seen anyone, or I haven't met anyone personally that went and said, oh, I have a Facebook group and I love it and it ties into my exact business. It's completely automated. And more importantly, I'm in control of all of the clients and everything that's there, because at the end of the day, Facebook is the owner of that group. You're just renting some space from them. You don't have control over that group. You don't have the real ownership of that particular group because it's on their hosted service. In our case, using something like WordPress and BuddyBoss allows you to have your own private Facebook that not only that you always own because it's your Facebook group, but more importantly, it gives you the flexibility of leveraging that group and being able to monetize it or use it in other parts of your business because it's your data. It's your relationships, and the user-generated content that gets created in that group is something now that you can use. Think of it, for example, one of the things I talked about was about being able to gamify your training site. And if you take a look at gamification in many cases, think in a simple term is you have to give some kind of reward or credit for an activity that someone does on the site. If you have gamification set up on your training site, but the groups in your community is on Facebook, it's very difficult to reward people for doing something on Facebook when the gamification is on your website. There's not a good or solid connection between those two. Being able to gamify your community, gamify your training site is much easier when everything is on your own website where you own the actions, the clicks, the entries, everything that those user-generated content customers create in your group, in your community. You're able to gamify those, something you just can't do on a Facebook site. So that's just a simple example of one thing, gamification, but also messaging. If I'm doing email automation and I'm trying to have a upsell journey or a continuity program, or if I'm trying to do a reactivation program where I want to be able to market to them, but they haven't visited my personal site, but they've been on my Facebook group, they're disconnected. So it gives you a lot more flexibility in terms of building that path through for your customers and for your potential customers, knowing that there is one place that you can control. So that's one of the reasons I like these, this stack of tools, to keep it all on WordPress. And I'll show you just quickly because how long have I been going? 37 minutes. I get crazy with these things just talking. And again, these are ad hoc. There is some other tools, maybe I'll show them another time, that allow you to have a structured agenda with these webcasts, a couple tools that we've used in other places. But in these ones on the Wednesdays, I just get on and kind of talk of whatever starts happening. And if there are questions, I will answer them. There are no questions today, so that's fine. But these tools, I'm just going to show you the BuddyBoss one because it's one that gives you a lot of flexibility in how much of a community that you want to build. And here's the one, I'll show it to you quickly. So I'm just in the administration here and make sure that I got the proper feed on. I do. So I'm in the administration. On the left-hand side, you can see BuddyBoss and components. So on these ones, I have member profiles and profile fields. These are default ones. They can't be added. They can't be changed. These are ones that have to be there. I've got account settings, notifications, social groups. That was the one I was just talking about. Forum discussions, which is different than a group, but similar. And I got a call here that I'm just doing a webcast, so I'll have to turn that one down. There we go. I've got account settings that lets people update their settings. Social groups, forum discussions, activity feeds. I showed you that one. Media uploading. This one's important for me on this particular site because we're allowing people to upload videos and pictures, right? So if someone's out playing pickleball, they want to be able to share what it is are happening in the matches, in the clubs, the association they're in. These ones are ones that you can allow that media uploading. Private messaging between the members, member connections, like a Facebook friending people, same idea. Inviting other users with emails, having moderation and network search. These are all components that you can add or not add with BuddyBoss. And BuddyBoss is just available as a standard install from the WordPress plugin repository. Nothing special there, it's available. So that's the first one that's kind of interesting, I think anyway, for, let me just see where we got, I want to make sure. Here's another one. Let me just do these ones here. So I'm going to do this one. I'm looking down, and the reason I'm looking down is I have my mouse on another screen. I'm just going to try and get it back here. So let me see what I got here. Okay, so the other ones that we have here are, got the Fluent support. Just going to, I'm going to see if I can get this off of another screen. There we go. Okay, so on the other ones, we've got the BuddyBoss directory listings. I'll show you that one. Now the directory listings, one of the things that I wanted to do on this site is I wanted to have a place that someone could create a listing of all of the different clubs or associations that were available to go and belong to if you were a member. So think of it this way. I have the members. These are all of the members or friends for pickleball. These are the individuals that are playing pickleball that you want to go and speak with. But then on the other hand, we have different clubs, and a club is just that. It's a particular club where someone joins and says, hey, yeah, I've got a club. These are where the members are. This is where my club is. This is the services, the hours. Here's all the information about us. There's the map. So we've got address information, the website. This is just a directory here that allows people to go and add their club. So that one is called the directors. That's where we got that one from. And that was set up basically as a way for clubs or associations to add to their members, or at least have access to members that get into the site just by updating or creating a listing in the directory. We've got the events. Now, the thing that's exciting in this market or this particular tool that we set up here is that there is a large community worldwide, and there's lots of different events. So we put in the events calendar, and we actually had a little plugin added, again, that's available from the events calendar, and all the links are in the resources link below or on trainingsites.io/resources. There's all sorts of events, whether they be tournaments, professional tournaments, get-togethers, holidays. There's all sorts of stuff happening worldwide. So we wanted to have a calendar available for people to either find events or even post events. So the events calendar has an extension or an add-on. One of them is front-end submission. So this allows people who are not an administrator, like you're looking at here, but it allows them to go and submit an event that shows up on the website in the community. So that was one that we did with the events here. And if we take a look at them, just to see if we'll open one up here, see what's available and what's not. Let me just go and take a look at this one. Okay, there we go. So we have the times, the dates, the mobile date, where it is. Again, who the organizer is, what the email is for the person. So we've got an ability here to do it just with the events and allow people to submit their events or add to their events. Okay, so we got the calendar, and that can be shown on a monthly basis, or in this case, we have the default as a list. How long they last, all of that great stuff is there. What was the other one I would just want to show you? Let's go back and I'll show you one other one. So we had friends was the members. Remember I showed you the members in the BuddyBoss platform. Directory listings, events, Fluent forms. I have Fluent support in here, rank math. Let's go look at this one, just Fluent support. So this is another little tool that we put together or used. And again, in the link is, a lot of times what happens when you have a training or a membership site, there's two kinds of questions. One is a technical or billing question where they are having trouble actually using the site, or there's something on the site that's broken, or they're having something that is non-content related. So we put in Fluent support, which allows us basically to have a ticketing system for the actual site. Now, I'm logged in as administrator, so I can't see that right now, but that's what Fluent Support is for. And again, can be a whole bunch of automations, whole bunch of ways for not only you, but also for the members to be able to submit tickets, find out what the responses to the tickets were, and have a history of them if they get stuck. I'll show you where that one is quickly. We'll just look at the site again for a moment. And on this one, if I go over to the right-hand side, you can see I have a whole bunch of my personal setups there. And on the left-hand side, this is called the BuddyBoss menu. You can see that I've got my groups, my photos, my videos, my documents, again, my personal stuff. But if I ever wanted to go, in this case, I don't know if I'll be able to see it in the bottom, there's support. I might say, hey, you're logged in. Yeah, I'm logged in. So normally what happens here for a non-logged in user, let me just see if I can open up another screen for you just so that you see it. Open this one up, and what do we got here? Yeah, so you got to log in, either create an account, in this case, reset a password. I don't know if I have another one to show you, but there's a place for tickets here, and that is the support desk or the help desk, again, all set up and easy to use. That's, again, a plugin that we put in. Again, free one. These ones are all available on the WordPress plugin directory. WooCommerce, GameApress is there. GameApress is free to get started. So these are all just plugins that basically have been installed and turned on. And LearnDash for the course, we'll do that one up at the top. LearnDash is the LMS. This is a paid one, but allows you to create step-by-step courses. We created one just on Discover Pickleball, and you can take a look at a particular course that we created for playing pickleball and getting started playing pickleball, all about it, different lessons, quizzes, that kind of stuff. So these are, instead of a standard blog post, this is an actual step-by-step course that teaches people who don't know about pickleball, being able to get them started and understand how it works and what they need to get playing, and the beginner's guide for the rules and all of that great stuff. So all of these things are just plugins, and they just need to be installed for the business type or the business model that you're creating. And this is really exciting because this is stuff for you and I as an owner of a business. This is where we're in control of our content, and we have the opportunity to either give it away because we want to in a way that allows us to build a community, or if we want to monetize it, monetize our expertise in our community and our content, we have the flexibility to do that as well and be in control of it, which I'm a big fan of. Now, does that mean it's the only way to do it? No, not at all. There's all sorts of different tools that you can use that are softwares as a service for doing pieces of these. And I mentioned a couple of them. So for example, you'll find some people use WordPress to create a website, and they have a lot of the information and some of the tools that we talked about, like an event calendar, and they may have forms, they do blog posts, they may have a podcast series, and it's all on their WordPress site. But they may use another tool like Thinkific, which is a software as a service specifically for creating, selling, and distributing online courses. So they have WordPress, and they've got another tool for doing it. They may use a tool like ActiveCampaign to do the CRM portion and the email marketing automation over on that other piece. So it's got one tool here that's external of WordPress site, and then they have another tool for the courses. They may have another tool for the help desk or support. And it becomes a question of, how do I fit this all together to support the outcome or the kind of business or education business that I want in the short term, the medium term, and the long term. So there's a lot of choices there. Is it hard to set it up? Can you do it in an hour? Yeah, absolutely. I think next time what I'll do is I'll do a dummy site and I'll just show you how that works. Get them all installed, not a problem, pretty quick. If you want to have a specific business model around community and courses, it takes some time to get it set up quickly. If you just have a course, that one course that you want to sell that you already have created, you can be selling in an hour. It's just install LearnDash, one of the plugins I showed you, upload your content, and then LearnDash has a setting where you can put a PayPal email address. People can buy your course from your website using the LearnDash plugin and paying PayPal and having access to that course. Be done again in about an hour if you have a course that's created. If you don't have a course created, that's another question again. It's like, how do I create a course? How am I going to structure the course so it fits in with the site that I have, that supports the business model I have? So there's a lot going on there, and that's why we provide the services we do at trainingsites.io. So I think what I'm going to do is we'll switch back, and I'm just going to go to my fancy headshot here at the end. We'll go back to the end of the sharing the screen. And the reason I'm looking at the screen is because I actually have to go find the button to switch. One of the things that I changed, or I bought but I haven't hooked up, is I actually have the Stream Deck, which is basically, it looks like a little square with anywhere from 12 to 24 buttons on it. And you can program the buttons to switch between these feeds that we have. I've also got one which is a Stream Deck foot pedal that gives me the options to assign three different foot pedals to switch between cameras. I don't have that hooked up yet, so I got to do it manually by looking at the screen. So having said that, if you want to find out about picking the business model, how these things fit together, what are the different structures, how to create a course, that's why we have trainingsites.io. We have courses that you can go and learn how to do this on your own based on our experiences, and we'll do our best to help you. On the other hand, if you just want it done for you, we're there to help you out. We have a number of programs available if you're just starting out and you need lots of help, or if you just want someone to do the dirty work so that you can just create your courses or do your live events and have courses created at live events. That's a whole other option as well. So I just want to thank you for spending time with me today. I know I can get a little bit off center here pretty quickly. If you do have questions, make sure to visit trainingsites.io, join up, be part of the community, and ask your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them in the live sessions for our paid members or on these events on Wednesday. So this is James Maduke speaking from trainingsites.io. Hope you enjoyed it. We'll talk to you again soon. Take care and expect the best.